Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ulrike. I'm a K-beauty and skincare content creator and general lover of all things skincare. Today's video is about a true cult classic, a Korean superstar, a product that has been popular and just topping bestseller and award lists for a decade now. So I felt it was high time that I introduce you to Korea's #1 brightening serum, and it is this one. So, in case you don't know what this is, you have potentially never seen this. It is the ISOI Blemish Care Serum. And it looks like this. Now this is a larger size. I got a 30 ml bottle. And I believe the usual regular size is 20 ml, so a lot less than regular 50 ml serums from Korean brands. So the ISOI Blemish Care Serum, I really usually try to avoid superlatives when I talk about Korean products, because I think a lot of people misunderstand, especially the Olive Young ranking list. I've seen a lot of TikToks lately where people kind of claim this is the #1 toner, this is the #1 serum, and then they use the Olive Young bestseller list or ranking list as the reason why this is #1. And I do always look at the rankings at Olive Young because they do give a good overall idea of what especially young people in Korea buy and enjoy. But it only gives a part of the picture, because not everyone buys stuff at Olive Young. There are certain brands that aren't even sold at Olive Young, that are sold more in department stores or even in supermarkets, or very important market for the over 30 woman home shopping channels. A lot of brands use home shopping, which is super popular in Korea, as their #1 marketing channel. So Olive Young is more sort of what the young people buy, but nevertheless, it does give you a good idea what is popular, especially if you look at the Olive Young Awards. The Olive Young Awards are always given by the end of a year, and it is basically the overall bestsellers for the entire year, not just for the day or the week, but the entire year. Now this product, the ISOI Blemish Care Serum, has won the #1 spot for serums, or at the very least for brightening serums, for 10 years now. So that does tell you something about the popularity of the serum. I believe that the serum has also won a couple of other awards, and in general, it's just a constant bestseller. I never don't see this in the top 10 of the rankings of the Olive Young website. So I do think this is a time where I'm okay with using superlatives, and I would say this is probably, especially in the brightening category, the #1 serum, hands down, being sold in Korea, especially to women a little bit younger, so kind of not the 40 plus women. So just a couple of background information points about the brand ISOI, because to me as a German, this is actually a very interesting brand story. First of all, ISOI indeed is a completely independent brand, so it doesn't belong to any of the large conglomerates such as Amar Pacific or LG. I know that there's still this myth running rampant on TikTok in particular, that some influencers started, that independent brands in Korea don't have any chance to ever be popular and have to market overseas in order to make it. ISOI started out in Korea as a Korean brand, and they were popular right from the start. I think now they're selling to the West, but for a very long time, the Western market, they didn't even need that because they were hyper popular in Korea as a small indie brand. They are a clean beauty brand, almost sort of, or not quite organic, because I don't think they use certified organic ingredients, but they do kind of follow the same philosophy as natural or organic brands. And indeed, here's why I found this so interesting as a German. The brand founder she actually started to get interested in organic skincare from Germany when she had problems with her skin. And she was one of the first distributor of one particular German organic brand called Logona in Korea. So she was the president of Logona Korea. That to me was really interesting because as a teenager, Logona was one of my favorite brands that I also used when I had skin problems, because I had problems with acne. And that's kind of when I started getting into skincare. So back in the 90s, pretty much, when this really wasn't a big topic at all, certainly not in Germany. Yeah, so I felt kind of a kinship with the founder of ISOI. So you can see what the ideal or the role model is. A clean beauty brand, organic beauty brand using natural and mostly plant-based ingredients. They're not fully vegan. Not all products are vegan, but this serum is fully vegan from what I've seen. I checked on the American ISOI site, and it apparently, maybe it's not certified vegan, but it does come up under their vegan skincare category, so it should be fully vegan. And I think the entire Bulgarian Rose Blemish series is vegan. So this particular serum has gone through a couple of reformulations over the years. I think this might already be the third or fourth version of this. They certainly have renewed the packaging. They did this for all ISOI products. ISOI has a lot of other product ranges and product lines that are equally successful. Truly, ISOI is just so popular. This used to look a little bit more, I think a little bit more frilly. It looks more clean now, I think. But the main ingredients of this have pretty much stayed the same. Rose water is a big one, Bulgarian rose water, Bulgarian essential oil, and arbutin. And or is it arbutin? I should have looked this up before. Let's stick to arbutin, even though it's wrong potentially, but I'll just stick to one pronunciation. So arbutin is pretty much, I would say, the star ingredient of this serum and potentially the reason why it's so popular for brightening and hyperpigmentation. So I don't know if you watched my previous video, was it the previous one or 2 weeks ago, where I did a review of the ordinary NAC and aloe vera serum. NAC or NAG is a tyrosinase inhibitor, tyrosinase being the enzyme that causes that overproduction of melanin in the skin, which causes hyperpigmentation. And arbutin is pretty much the exact same thing. Another famous and very well-known tyrosinase inhibitor that is used in brightening and hyperpigmentation targeting skincare is kojic acid, and arbutin, in all the articles that I've read about it, is usually compared to arbutin in forms of efficacy and strength. So it seems to be pretty well researched and apparently really one of the best ingredients to help with hyperpigmentation. And it is also sold as sort of an alternative to vitamin C. Not everyone does well with vitamin C. Unfortunately, some people just find it too strong or they just don't do well with it. And apparently arbutin can be a good alternative that is a little bit more gentle. So arbutin, basically, as I said, is great for hyperpigmentation, and similar to vitamin C, it also just helps to overall brighten your complexion. Apart from the arbutin, this serum also contains licorice root extract, which is one of my favorite ingredients. Most underrated ingredient, I find, for brightening. For me, has always been super effective in just brightening up my complexion and evening out sort of skin tone issues. Maybe not super effective against really strong hyperpigmentation, but it just gives you, a sort of more awake, brightening look, I find. And this also contains amla fruit extract. Now, amla, if you are Desi, so if you're Indian or Pakistani, you probably know everything there is to know about amla, because amla oil is traditionally used in Desi culture for hair oil. So amla oiling it has become super popular outside of Indian culture. And I think there's a bit of a mixed feeling about that, because a lot of us white ladies are now using amla oil. And I think credit is not often given to where this traditionally comes from, because of course Desi women have been oiling their hair for probably, I want to say, thousands of years already, and now it's become a TikTok trend. I can understand that that must feel not fantastic, because I think a lot of Indian girls were mocked for the tradition of oiling their hair. Amla apparently has quite a strong scent, so there has been a lot of making fun of that. Amla is a really interesting ingredient, not just for hair care, where it can help to strengthen the hair and help with hair regrowth, but also for skincare. I started to get really into sort of reading about amla. It can also help with brightening, and it is a really potent antioxidant fruit and fruit extract. So I'm actually almost surprised that not more brands use it in their skincare. But yeah, this is kind of the trio, the brightening trio in this serum. So you've got the arbutin, probably the strongest, the key ingredient, plus the licorice root extract and the amla fruit extract. Surprisingly enough, this does not contain niacinamide. I think this is the first brightening serum in a long time that I've tried that doesn't contain niacinamide. So if you don't do well with niacinamide, this might be an alternative. Apart from the antioxidants from the amla fruit extract, this also contains a whole host of other plant-based antioxidant extracts. Among them is sea buckthorn extract, which I already talked about. I don't remember when, but probably with another Korean product. Super potent in antioxidants, and technically also contains natural vitamin C, though I'm not sure how much that contributes to the brightening effect, because it's not pure vitamin C. And also contains a number of berry extracts. So acai, blueberry, and cranberry are the main ones. Plus, this also contains my favorite, heartleaf extract and Centella asiatica extract, which aren't just antioxidant, they're also calming, anti-inflammatory, they can help with wound healing, they're just great all-rounder, classic K-beauty ingredients. This serum is also a very hydrating serum. The main hydrators here are glycerin and the rose water. The only caution I need to give for this product before you get too excited and before you hear my review is that it does also contain quite a bit of fragrance. If you are against fragrance or have sensitivities, this is not the product for you, I'm afraid, because it has a really strong rose smell. Now, technically, the smell should come from the rose essential oil in it, but I have to say, having smelled a lot of actual rose essential oils, because they're used very often as fragrance in organic skincare, this to me smells fake. I don't know. I didn't find any other additional fragrance, although I have started to suspect that Olive Young maybe doesn't always put artificial added fragrance in the ingredient list, potentially. Maybe you don't have to declare it in Korea, I'm not sure. Because remember last week I told you about one sunscreen, the Espoir, the green sunscreen, and I said it's fragrance free. I don't know if my nose was stuffed the last weeks or whatever, but I always thought that the green sunscreen doesn't smell. But this week I noticed it actually has a really strong smell. So I put it in the notes, episode notes, and I hope people will find it there, because actually it is fragrance, but it's not declared in the ingredient list. That's why I kind of overlooked it. And this, I think they put some extra fragrance in there because it's really quite a pungent, I'm not going to lie to you, it's quite a pungent rose scent. So it's not the greatest scent unless you really, really like rose, but even then it's just quite strong. It does go away once you apply the product because you also only need a little bit of product. I get to that in a second. But you know, it's certainly not fragrance free. Add to this that it also contains alcohol. Oh, I just feel I'm losing probably so many people from these two ingredients being added, and it's a shame because it's a really interesting and great serum. But I also want to make sure that you have all the info about this. So it's not fragrance free, and it's also not alcohol free. Most of the not Dr. G ISOI products contain ethanol. This is the case for many, many organic or natural brands because very often they use ethanol as a form of preservative, especially for the plant extracts. So yeah, warning that it does contain fragrance and alcohol. Did not bother me. The fragrance I'm not a fan of, but my skin didn't mind it, and my skin also didn't mind the alcohol, but it is what it is. So if those are two ingredients you try to avoid, this will probably make you unhappy. As for my review of this or my experiences with this product, I really like this a lot. That's why I wanted to do a video on it, because I can really see why it is so popular. First off, the texture. It's a gel serum, and it has a really lovely, silky texture that I find really pleasant to apply. It's not too watery, which I sometimes don't like because it just sometimes feels too light for my skin. But my 44-year-old skin really does absorb this and drink it up and feels very well hydrated after I use it. I just feel it has more of a silky texture than regular gel serums, especially from more natural brands. They often don't have enough, I want to say, enough body or richness, but this one certainly has. I think it just must contain a good amount of glycerin because it really has that typical silkiness that I get with especially pure glycerin serums. And it's lacking the tackiness and the stickiness that you usually get when it's more of a hyaluronic acid based serum. And I really enjoy this a lot. It does actually remind me a lot of more high quality, high-end organic German brand serums. So I can see again where that role model plays into the formula. I also find that this absorbs really quickly and it really doesn't leave any tackiness. And again, even though it is heavily fragranced and I'm not a fan of the fragrance kind of evaporates the moment you put it on. So you don't smell like rose the whole day. It's just a cosmetic sort of moment of smelling it when you put it on. It's not great, but it goes away. So I do find this to be very, very hydrating, very pleasant, and a little bit plumping. What I noticed especially, and had noticed from pretty much the first time I used it, is that it's very softening. It really gives a sort of velvety softness to the skin when you apply it. A little goes a long way with this as well, so you really only need 2 pumps maximum. It spreads very well, which is good because it is a little bit pricier. So it's good to know that at least it also lasts a little bit longer. As for the effect of the arbutin, I think it's a little bit too early for me to tell if it does anything magical for my hyperpigmentation. However, even after only using it for a couple of weeks now, 2 weeks, I want to say, maybe 3 plus, it does have a pretty instantaneous brightening effect and sort of revitalizing effect. I really noticed this straight away when I used it as my daytime serum, that I just look a little bit more even toned and overall brighter, pretty much comparable to what happens when you start using vitamin C. So I can definitely see the claims of arbutin being kind of similar to vitamin C. I can see that. It doesn't give as much of a super glow as a lot of vitamin C serums do, but it does a more, almost like a semi-matte, sort of softening, brightening effect. That's what it kind of gives to the skin, I would say. And I think that's really a good effect to want if you have more skin on the oilier side, because then you don't really want to just look like a glazed donut because you already have a lot of oiliness. So I think this works really well if you are 30 plus, I would say, but still are more in the sort of combo to oily range. This can also work for dry skin for sure, because of the brightening effect is very flattering, I want to say, for all skin types pretty much. But yeah, those are the things that I've noticed so far. I also can definitely notice that it helps a little bit with my redness. Maybe not as well as the ordinary NAC or the APAT Geek and Gorgeous serum, but I'm thinking it's because of the heart leaf and the Centella asiatica that it does have an anti-inflammatory and redness calming effect on my skin. But I would say the main thing why I like it is because of the brightening effect, which isn't super dramatic, but it is noticeable. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what will happen in a couple of weeks if I keep using it. And because it just makes my skin super soft. And I really like the texture because it feels luxurious without being uncomfortably sticky or too sort of watery. So, final verdict for the ISOI Blemish Care Serum. I really enjoy this, and I realize it's maybe not for everyone because it contains fragrance, it contains a little bit of alcohol. But if you are okay with those two additions to the serum, and you, for instance, haven't done well with niacinamide, or you don't like hyaluronic acid in your hydrating serums, and you're looking for a more multi-purpose anti-aging serum that doesn't just help with hyperpigmentation, but also offers a lot of really potent antioxidant power, and it also hydrates and just evens out skin texture issues and just makes everything look a little bit more even toned. This could be a really good one for you to try. I think it's a great beginner's anti-aging serum for people sort of 30 plus who are starting to look into what to do about the first signs of aging. I'm 44. I really enjoy this so far. I really want to see what else it can do for my hyperpigmentation. I have a little spot here that just never seems to go away, and I also get hyperpigmentation here that usually gets worse in the summer. So we'll see what it does for those spots. And yeah, I can see why this is so popular. I really enjoy it. It's a shame that the fragrance will probably put off a lot of people, especially here in the West, because it's not the greatest thing. Personally, I again don't mind fragrance, but yeah, a lot of people don't like it. I hope you will still give it a chance, unless of course you're actually allergic or sensitive. But I think it's still an overall really great serum. And yeah, the brightening and the softening, the skin softening effect really impressed me, I have to say. Now, my tip is to look for sales for this because it is a little bit more expensive. Usually it costs around $50. And as I said, this is a 30 ml bottle, but the regular size is 20 ml. Now, Olive Young usually has sales for this. And they also have a lot of value packs where you get extras or a 1+1 deal. At the moment, I hope they still have this when this video goes online. They're actually having a sale on ISOI products, and they have a 3 full-sized products value pack. So you get 3 20 ml serums for around $50. So 60 ml in total for $50. That's probably the best price I've seen for this serum. And so this is actually the perfect time to try this cult classic. If you want to use what Koreans use, then this truly is probably the most popular brightening serum you can find. The other one is the good old tangerine serum, but that one I think is more for younger skin. And this one I would say for skin 30 plus, and especially if you struggle with sort of dullness and hyperpigmentation, try it out, as long as you're okay with the fragrance. I hope you enjoyed learning about Korea's #1 brightening serum that has been topping bestseller lists for a decade now. I mean, again, that's truly quite impressive. And whether or not you will give it a try, do not hesitate to leave your comments, your opinions in the comments, and let me know if you've maybe already tried it or consider purchasing it, or what other brightening serums you have tried from Korea. And I would love it, of course, if you could stick around for future videos and consider subscribing. Super, super helpful for us small creators. I'm still hoping to finally get over the 1K. That's the magical number that I'm still quite far away from, but I'm trying my best. So every subscriber is truly deeply appreciated. And maybe also give the video a thumbs up. That's also super, super helpful and always appreciated. I do videos pretty much every week, so I will see you again next week with another skincare and beauty topic. And until then, please take care. Bye.